So now we're in the town of Alancha. These Sierras here. We're going to head down to Panamint Springs, over to Darwin and Ballarat, the two ghost mining towns. Looks like this looks like a ghost town right here. Some sort of structure was here before. Look at that. Here, take a look at this. The old chimney here. And we're headed down 190. Well, now we are at Darwin subregion, right here. We're headed east on Route 190 out to this here. Darwin Falls Wilderness. Darwin. Wow, look at these beautiful mountains. So this is the eastern Sierra Nevada mountains out here. Here's Lone Pine. This is all lava flow. It's been eroding away down in the valley. Here's 190. And we're going to head up the road here towards Death Valley. Looks like we have the same plants, just not as robust. A couple of real small Joshua trees, a lot of desert shrub, saltbush, other scrubby plants. But here, of course, we can always find our silver cholla. Now be careful not to miss the turn. Here's Route 190. This here's Darwin Road. Out here's Darwin. Here's the dedication plaque to the town of Darwin, founded by Erasmus Darwin French in the 1860s, who was an explorer out here, discovered gold, and is responsible for his name on a lot of these sites. So head down this road up to Darwin. All right, I can't wait. All right, so we made it to the old ghost town of Darwin, California. Here's the old mine here. Down here's the town. So let me tell you about it as we drive around. So Darwin sits on the outskirts of Death Valley, elevation 4,790 feet above sea level, only about 1.3 square miles of land. And tiny Darwin was once the largest city in Inyo County, but today it's only home to about 35 or 50 people. So to get here, head east on Route 190 from Coso, turn right at Darwin Road. It's the only paved access road you find. It's easy to miss unless you happen to stop and read the E. Clampus Vitus interpretive monument at the pullout center at the crest of the pass. You can also access Darwin from the old toll road if you're driving west out of Death Valley. So before there was gold in the town of Bodie, Darwin was the most popular mining town of the 1870s. And before Darwin, this region was home to the native Shoshone and Paiute Indians. So the settlement got its start in early 1860 when a prospecting expedition led by Dr. Erasmus Darwin French, a rancher from Fort Tejon, who was set out from Visalia in search of the mythical lost gunsight lode, a place that had long been known as Silver Mountain. His team traveled through this wash and canyon here, hence this future town was given its name, Darwin. So Darwin was settled in 1874 after the discovery of silver and lead. In 1875, the town boasted 2 smelters, 20 operating mines, graded streets, a drugstore, hotel, 3 restaurants, lots of saloons, a newspaper, 200 framed houses, and more than 700 residents. It even opened the Darwin Post Office, which is still open today. The most profitable mine was the Defiance Mine, but other mines included such names as Argus, Sterling, Christmas Gift, Lucky Jim, Custer, Independence, Keystone, Thompson, and the Wonder Mine. So the town grew, and in 1876 it had over 1,000 residents, became the largest town in Inyo County. But the town still grew, and by 1877 there were more than 3,500 residents here. But in 1878, an outbreak of smallpox decimated the town. There was a national economic slowdown, production slowed, miners' hours were cut back, and of course the violence grew. The local newspaper closed and moved its presses to the boomtown of Bodie, and so did a lot of miners. So only about 200 or 300 of these 3,500 residents remained in Darwin, but it still had 4 stores, 3 restaurants, 5 saloons, and a drugstore. In 1879, an arson fire destroyed the Darwin Hotel, and that resulted in the loss of 14 local businesses, including several stores, offices, the hotel, saloons, and the post office. But the town of Darwin didn't die. In 1880, some 85 people still called it home. A short rebound blessed the town in the early 1900s when copper became popular and some of the mines reopened. A new hotel was even built, but in 1917, another fire broke out and blazed through the town, destroying the service garage, the new hotel, a saloon, and 3 homes. Less than a year later, another fire even swept out on the other side of Main Street, destroying even more homes and businesses. So by 1919, the Lucky Jim and the Christmas mines were still going strong with the rising prices of silver. So the town of Darwin prospered even more when the Ockman Toll Road opened in 1926, and that opened access to Death Valley. And when Death Valley Monument was established in 1933, it was decided to buy the toll road to allow free access to the new park. In 1937, a new route opened to Death Valley, which then isolated our little town of Darwin. From the 1920s through the 1970s, mining continued off and on. On the hillside of Mount Ophir, about a half-mile northwest of downtown, you can still see the remains of the company camp, including the decaying houses, Quonset huts, and the mill buildings. In the area, you can still find scattered and rusted mining machinery and the remains of the old Defiance smelter, with rusted-out hulks of vehicles and trailers. Now, central Darwin still contains some old and fascinating buildings and architecture. A first-time visitor is immediately drawn to the luminously white, minimalist cast marble sculpture of a couple sensuously embracing. Placed in front of its creator's rustic retreat, this striking artwork was created by the renowned California sculptor Jim Hunolt. Directly across the street is Hunolt's vertically mounted pairing of 2 very impressive raw dolomite monoliths. So when we drive east out of town toward the older toll road, we will still see a lot of mining structures on the east slope of Darwin. This is the remnants of the old Anaconda mine. And directly west of the mine is a large, playful arrangement of rocks forming the mulch parodied the Christians' ichthys symbol, or the little fish symbol. And just behind the mine is a ramshackle collection of old buildings, shacks, double wides, abandoned cars, home, junk piles, obsolete mining machinery, and of course, some modern art. All right, well, that's the story of our ghost town of Darwin, California. On to our next stop. Thanks for watching. Bye.